Good.
Well, did you want to sit down and talk for a few minutes?
Sure. What do you want? You're going to be the one that has to ask the questions.
Yeah, I'll ask you some questions. I synchronize it with the sound. Okay, sound. Yep, sound's good.
Pardon?
Okay, Bryson. So, you're a historian.
What is this doing?
This is getting the video.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Right.
And that's getting the sound.
Yeah.
If you do separate, you get a lot higher quality sound than you would just with the camera's microphone.
Right.
And then you link the two with the computer later. I remember watching your home movies when I was a kid. You'd bring out the film projector and the screen and the lights. Didn't you used to do some filming?
Maybe I should put my one hearing aid in this
Yeah.
one.
Yeah.
The other one's a little tight. Okay, what was your question?
You used to do some filming, didn't you?
Well, yeah, I took 8mm movies for many years, and as the kids were growing up, and we took them particularly at holiday time, like the 4th of July, when we did different things and had company, and at Christmas time too. So over the time we got quite a few of those together, and I had a friend who ran a filming station, and also he had a hobby about doing this film business, and he put some of them together, and we have played them from time to time. I think we had one at your place one Christmas, maybe a year ago or so.
Yeah, it was a collection of short films, if I remember.
Yes, that's right.
They were in color, too, weren't they?
Yes, they were. And they went back as far as when Marty was at Chautauqua, and she was crawling around in the grass and also pulling herself up in her playpen. So that was a good time to start.
It's good to catch your children on film.
Yes, right. Quite a few of them, right. And I haven't looked at it much, surprisingly, right.
Well, it's a lot easier to edit film together these days on computers. You know, to blend from shot to shot and mix them together and overlay the images.
Yeah, right.
So it's not the only thing that's easier. We have lots of newfangled devices that were undreamt of when you were younger, I bet. Cell phones.
I don't know what you're mentioning there.
I was just mentioning, a lot of younger people think that the technology around today has really made life different. Do you think it's made life different?
Quite a bit, right. Yeah, a lot of things can be done more easily than they used to be. Right?
People are living a bit longer. Although people lived a pretty long time before too, didn't they, some of them?
Yes, but the average lifespan has been increasing considerably because my grandfather and his father before him were doctors who died at about age 48 or 49 or something, and that was sort of average length of men's life back in those days, like 1900 and earlier. But take it here at this village, you don't qualify to come in here unless you're 62 and capable of independent living. And the average age is maybe people in their 80s at this point.
So this is a fairly long-lived group who tends to come out to the Friendship Village.
This was on the front of our memorial day, Friendly Time. You might be interested in that because it has a lot of statistics about World War II and the lifespan and everything.
Okay, I'll take a look at this.
Yeah, that's right. You can have that. Right.
Tell me a bit about yourself, Bryson.
How do you mean about myself? Well, I never really expected to be 94, right? But due to combination of ancestry and the grace of God and medicines and competent doctors and competent pharmacists, why, a lot of us are lasting a lot longer, including myself. And I'm glad to have lived long enough to really see my children and grandchildren growing up as I did at this reunion that we had for the wedding of the first wedding in the generation of the children of my children. In other words, the first grandchild to get married. I think I told you that there were, out of 5 grandchildren, there were 4 there, and all 4 children were there, plus a couple of their spouses. So it was wonderful to see them all doing so well, right, at this stage in their lives.
What are some important dates in your family's history?
Well, of course, I think I already said my father was born in 1981, and he had a June 10th birthday, and he...
Did you say 1881?
Yes, that's when he was born, 1881. And so he lived till 1973 and died in May of 1973. And he was almost 92. He would have been in a couple of weeks, because I think he died like May 23rd, and he wouldn't have been 92 until June the 10th. And the dates of marriages were important, the birth of children and grandchildren, and of course the community and the nation, all the things that were going on in the USA and are still going on. And I certainly regret that we seem to be mired down at the present time in Iraq in this war, although there seem to have been good reasons to start it.
Do you think anything can be done about the war?
Well, I know that the president and the cabinet and all the generals and commanders are doing their best to see if they can bring it to a termination with some success in the goals. They hope to find Iraq on its feet and running their own government as a democracy.
Ambitious goals for the Middle East.
Huh?
An ambitious goal for a nation in the Middle East.
It surely is, yeah.
Speaking of the Middle East, wasn't there some Pakistani news you had to relate?
Pardon?
Some news about Pakistan.
Yes, right. Well, here is the book that we got back with all the photos in it right under where you laid that down. And, marked a couple of places. Is this?
Can you point out some of the pictures and explain what they mean?
Right. Well, these the pictures were taken by the deacon who accompanied my son to Pakistan, and they went to visit a Christian, former Christian college in Luray. That's a photo of the college, and these would be some of the typical students there, who are most of them Pakistanis.
I would suppose a lot of the more very important people in Pakistan would attend university.
That's right. The president of Pakistan had graduated from a foreign college some years back when it was still famous. It was at one time considered the Harvard of the area. And he and a number of his officials and officers attended there. Now
We know that guy.
yes, this is my son, who was one of the people that were visiting here, and someone he's talking to. And here's a group. This looks like this could have been, because there's a cross behind them, this could maybe be Christian faculty, a good many of them. And of the 3,600 present students, only 500 of them are Christian students, who a lot of them need scholarship help to attend. So the bulk of them are Pakistanis, and then the government, Pakistan government, has granted something like $6 million towards helping restore the college to its former grandeur and reputation. Now this, it says here, are these, this visiting group here. Let's see, this is John Marr from Darien. He's the one taking the pictures. The next one is Dr. Peter Armacost, who was the president of the college at this time. He came from the college in Florida. this is a man from James Balcom from Atlanta, Georgia, and a Dr. Vic Prinz, the senior pastor of the Peachtree Presbyterian Church, Atlanta, Georgia, which is a wealthy Presbyterian church with a mission budget. And this is Sam Schreiner, senior pastor of the Norotan Presbyterian Church, Darien, Connecticut. And this is Bill Gaston from Atlanta, Georgia. So this is the group of visitors that went there to see what they could do to get additional financial support for the college in this recovery program. Now then, while Sam was there, he was able to get a driver to take him to Rawalpindi, which is in northwestern Pakistan, and it's the site S-I-T-E of Gordon College, which is still running by the government, but was a mission college for many years and had been established as early as 1893. I think former Christian college would be older than that. Now this shows something like the kind of construction they have there. And here's Gordon College, 1895. And it's named for Adoniram Gordon, I think, who was a missionary. Now here he is, Reverend Dr. Andrew Gordon, founder of Gordon College, so that's why it has his name, I can see. And this is up in Taxila. There's a hospital in Taxila, which was a mission hospital where they did a lot of eye operations. And the chapel was attacked and blown up at one point. And then it got reconstructed, and it was named here for the chapel. Yeah, John C. Heinrich Memorial Chapel. And there is Samuel A. Schreiner, who's a grandson of Dr. John C. Heinrich, who was a United Presbyterian missionary out there in Pakistan from about 1915 to 1939. And that's where my wife Jean was the third of three girls, and then she had a younger brother, Jack, who grew up out there in Pakistan. So Sam was very glad to get to both those places, Rawalpindi, where his mother and father had labored for many years, and where he was able to find some of the old mission buildings. Here's another picture of,
What is the Christian mission? Is it active in the whole world?
Pardon?
The Christian mission, is it active in the whole world?
There are Christian missions in the whole world, but these were Presbyterian Christian missions over there in that part of Pakistan. And so here's Sam again and some of the other people connected with the college. So I don't know. A lot of these are unlabeled, but they were beautiful photography, you can tell that. Here's the municipal administration in Rawalpindi. Rawalpindi was a British frontier military town, and it's still used as a sort of a military town by the Pakistan Army. And Islamabad, the present capital of Pakistan, is a new city erected nearby. And you can see some wonderful shots of buildings and people. Right. Timetable. And here's a leprosy hospital, Rawalpindi.
You've been to the Middle East, haven't you?
To the Middle East, but not to the Far East where Pakistan is.
Oh,
Jean and I went to the Holy Land on a trip celebrating our 25th wedding anniversary. So we were married in 1945, and so this was 70 something, and we got to get to the Holy Land in the Middle East there by way of flying to Paris and changing planes, and then stopping in Greece for several days at least, and then we went to Egypt, where there was a mission school. It was a Presbyterian related called American College for Girls, and Jean and some of her friends were very active in raising support for that school, and the school sent Jean that papyrus in appreciation of the work they had done, and they entertained us when we were over there. And this is the Samuel. This is the present pastor, Sam Schreiner Jr. and his wife, and now the three children, and the latest one, who was the bride, right? That was a gift when we were there, so we were very happy to receive that. Right? So I'm just amazed at all this photography that they were able to do. And they made one for each of the four children of Jean. So this was Kathy's copy, which she left here until she's coming back in the summer to go to Chautauqua. He thought we could loan it to people to see what Pakistan was like and what this mission work was all about.